It hits you in the shower, or on a quiet drive, or right as you're about to fall asleep. A memory so old it has no business being sharp. And yet, there it is, crystal clear, playing back like it happened this morning. You said the wrong thing at a party when you were 14. You tripped in front of everyone at school. You called your teacher mom, and the whole class heard it. That was 2 decades ago. So why does your brain refuse to let it go? This is not a quirk. This is not weakness. This is one of the oldest survival systems in the human body doing exactly what it was built to do. And once you understand what that system actually is, you will never feel the same way about cringing again. Your brain is not a recording device. It does not store everything equally. It filters, edits, prioritizes, and it makes those decisions based on one single question. Does this matter for survival? Most of what happens to you today will be gone by next week. Your brain quietly discards it. But some memories get flagged. Some memories get pinned to the front of the archive and held there for decades. And the system that decides which memories survive is far older than language, far older than civilization, far older than anything you would recognize as human. Researchers call it the negativity bias, but that name makes it sound like a flaw. It is not a flaw. It is a feature that kept your ancestors alive. Think about the environment your brain was shaped inside. Not an office, not a classroom, not a city with streetlights and emergency services. Your brain was sculpted over roughly 2 million years of life on the open savanna, in dense forests, in small nomadic groups of 20 to 50 people where every social interaction carried real stakes. A mistake in that world was not embarrassing. A mistake in that world could end you. If you offended the wrong person in your group, you risked exile, and exile for most of human history meant death. You could not survive alone on the savannah. You needed the group for food, for protection, for warmth, for everything. Social rejection was not a bruised ego. Social rejection was a biological emergency. Your brain treated it accordingly. This is the argument that evolutionary psychologist Mark Leary has spent decades building. In his research on what he calls sociometer theory, Leary proposes that your self-esteem is not actually about how you feel about yourself in the abstract. It is a real-time gauge of how accepted or rejected you are by the people around you. When that gauge drops, when you do something that signals you might be losing status or belonging, your brain fires an alarm, and that alarm is what you feel as embarrassment. But it goes deeper than that, because the alarm is only useful if it lasts. If embarrassment faded in an hour, you would repeat the same social mistakes. The whole point of the memory is the lesson. Your brain replaced the moment not to torture you, but to train you. It is running a simulation over and over so that your body learns the right response before a similar situation arises again. Neuroscientist Joseph Ledoux mapped how emotional memories are formed differently than ordinary ones. Ordinary memories are processed primarily through the hippocampus, the brain's indexing system. But when an experience carries strong emotion, the amygdala gets involved. The amygdala is an ancient structure, shaped like an almond, sitting deep in the center of your brain. It is one of the oldest parts of your neural architecture. And when it activates during an experience, it essentially tells the hippocampus, this one matters, burn it in deeper, add more detail, make it retrievable under pressure.
That is why embarrassing memories feel more vivid than ordinary ones, more textured. You can recall the exact words, the exact faces, the exact feeling in your chest. Your amygdala was there, marking every sensory detail as critical data. Your brain did not over-record that moment by accident. It over-recorded it on purpose. And this mechanism does not care that you are safe now. It does not know that you are no longer in a group of 50 people on the savannah, where one social mistake can get you left behind. It is running ancient software on modern hardware, and the software has not been updated in 2 million years. Psychologist Kristen Neff, whose work on self-compassion has reshaped how researchers think about emotional regulation, points out something counterintuitive here. The more you try to suppress an embarrassing memory, the more you tell yourself to stop thinking about it, to move on, to get over it, the more activation you give the amygdala. Suppression does not archive the memory. It flags it as unresolved. And unresolved threats stay on the active list. Your brain will keep returning to them until it concludes the danger has passed. This is why some embarrassing memories fade and others never do. The ones that fade are the ones you processed. You told the story to a friend and laughed about it. You reflected on it, extracted the lesson, and your brain accepted the resolution. The ones that still sting are the ones you buried. Every time they surface, you push them back down. And every time you push them back down, your brain marks them as still dangerous, still unresolved, still worth monitoring. Here is what makes this stranger still. Research on what is called the self-conscious emotions, embarrassment, shame, guilt, and pride, shows that these feelings are unique to humans among all primates. Chimpanzees display something close to embarrassment in certain social situations, but the sustained, ruminating, middle-of-the-night replay that you experience, that appears to be distinctly human. It is connected to your capacity for self-reflection, for imagining how others perceive you, for building a mental model of your own reputation. Other animals react to social rejection. Only humans lie awake replaying it years later. That capacity, painful as it is the same capacity that allowed humans to build societies, to cooperate at scale, to care about what strangers think, to maintain a reputation across time. The embarrassment you feel is the price of admission for belonging to a species that figured out how to trust each other enough to build cities, languages, and civilizations. You cannot have one without the other. There is also a timing effect worth understanding. Research on what psychologists call the reminiscence bump shows that memories from your adolescence and early adulthood are disproportionately vivid and durable compared to memories from any other period of your life. The years between roughly 12 and 25 are when your sense of identity is forming most rapidly. Your brain treats this period as especially high stakes. Experiences during this window, good and bad, get encoded with extra intensity because your brain is calibrating who you are and how you fit into the world. An embarrassing moment at 30 is just an embarrassing moment. An embarrassing moment at 15, when your entire social identity feels like it is hanging by a thread, gets flagged as a formative event. It shapes you, and your brain knows it. So the memory that plays back in the shower is not a glitch. It is a data point your brain decided was too important to let go. It was filed under the category of things that almost cost you your belonging, things that threatened your place in the group, things that the ancient, alarm-wired part of your mind still considers unresolved business. You cannot delete these memories, the research is fairly clear on that, but you can change what they mean. The moment you stop treating the replay as an attack and start treating it as a report, a message from an old system doing its job, the emotional charge begins to shift. Not immediately, not completely, but gradually, the story changes. The memory stays. The threat fades. The next time it happens, the next time you are driving or lying in the dark and your brain pulls up something from 15 years ago, you will know what is actually happening. Your oldest survival system is doing a final check. It is asking one more time whether the danger has passed. And maybe now, for the first time, you can answer it. You can tell it, yes, the group did not exile you. You are still here. You made it. And so the thing that felt like proof of your failure was the whole time proof of something else entirely, that your brain cared enough about your survival to never let you forget what it felt like to almost lose your place among the people you needed most.